In Oklahoma, another big story involving gun violence is getting a lot of attention because of the shocking nature of the crime and the reason police say a group of teenagers killed a young man in cold blood, a stranger who was just out for a jog.
Well, it was quite a rowdy court appearance to start with. There were that many camera crews, that many relatives, that many friends of not only the victims, but also of the victim but also of the accused. When we eventually had a court set aside, everyone motioned in. The judge, Jerry Herberger, stood up and said, "Look, emotions are running high. I don't want any outbursts or you're out." There were a lot of red eyes in the room. There was audible weeping in the room. Each one came in individually, shackled around the ankles and the wrists. The first one up was 16-year-old Chauncey Luna. He was charged with first-degree murder. He's the one that's alleged to have pulled the trigger shooting of the revolver that shot Chris Lane in the back. Up next was James Edwards Jr., 15 years old, also charged with first-degree murder. The district attorney made a point of calling him cold and callous. He was the one, you might recall, who turned up here to the Stevens County District Court to sign some juvenile justice papers after the murder. We found out today, when he was charged and taken into custody, there's video of him dancing around, taking it like a joke, the district attorney said. The final one, Michael Jones, 17 years old, he was the one driving the vehicle. He's been charged with accessory first-degree murder. He has cooperated somewhat with police. We understand that he's got a pregnant girlfriend. He looked over to the back of the court looking around for someone while we were in the courtroom. We're not sure who he was looking at. A pregnant woman did leave the court later on and was crying and screaming. It's been quite a tense courtroom appearance. Michael Jones is the only one to have been given bail set at $1 million. He's expected to face a lengthy sentence, but the district attorney, the judge rather, offered him the possibility of bail in this case.
They witnessed the young man run by on the street, chose him as a target.
Chief Danny Ford says Lane was out jogging Friday afternoon when the teens drove up and shot him in the back.
There was some people that saw him stagger across the road, go to a kneeling position, and collapse on the side of the road.
Thousands of miles away in Australia, Lane's father shared the family's heartbreak.
He's left his mark, as we know, and there's not going to be any good come out of this, because it was just so senseless. It's happened, it's wrong, and we just try and deal with it the best we can.
Tens of thousands of people have liked the Rest in Peace Christopher Lane Facebook page, sending their thoughts and prayers to the 23-year-old's loved ones. Lane's murder has sparked outrage here in the U.S.
The United States is deeply saddened to hear the tragic news of the death of an Australian citizen in Oklahoma.
And in Australia, former Deputy Prime Minister Tim Fischer released this statement, cautioning Australians about going to America. He says in part, "Tourists thinking of going to the USA should think twice. I am deeply angry about this, not just because of the callous attitude of the three teenagers, but it's a sign of the proliferation of guns on the ground in the USA."